Shalom. I'm Doreen Ellen Beldotan, and I tried making this video about the Extinction Event that we are in the process of. I think it was 3 nights ago, and I begin to talk right at the very beginning. I see something out of the corner of my eye. I look and there's a roach, you know, the ones that are the size of like a medjool date, with the spindly legs and the hallucious antennas, walking toward me on the floor. And I looked at it, and it's like, okay, namaste, buddy. I got your message. Now you can bugger off. So I took another few days to think about this, understanding that my species was born yesterday. And I hope to be able to treat it in both the serious and unfortunate and unhappy event that it is, and also in terms of the good things about it. If we look over the course of our development, the development of life, we see that there have been a number of periods where a species has become an apex predator, and there's some kind of an event, I don't know, you can make up your own story, asteroids, hemorrhoids, whatever you like, and the apex predator is wiped out, to be supplanted by another species that in turn becomes an apex predator, but somewhat more refined, and it too gets wiped out. When Lula was living with us in a body, I used to tease her, and I would say to her, you know, the saber-toothed tigers became extinct because they were shown that you were the future of what cats were going to be, and some of them died laughing, and some of them died of embarrassment. And I think she got the general meaning of what I was saying to her. And she would look at me and kind of smile with those little bitty fangs that never hurt anybody. And she was, for me, the very example of the refinement of apex predators and what they eventually develop into. Another example is the recent finding that chickens are the closest living relatives of T-Rex. The irony of that they are the eponymous model of what it is to be scared, you know, to be a chicken, is a descendant of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that is what's happening now. Began to happen when scientists began to try to muck around with the fabric of existence itself. When they did that, exhibiting such outrageous and audacious disregard for the holiness of existence, for the sake of their own curiosity and desire to become prominent in their fields. They shattered reality such that what they understand as quantum fields became compartments, closed compartments. It used to be that I would wonder at the fact that the moral levels, the span of moral levels of humanity was so immense in the same reality. And I didn't like it. It seemed to me that people were being victimized by the predators. Now that's not the case so much. Now, things are much more compartmentalized. People are getting the realities that they deserve. The scientists who think that they're going to control things with these quantum effects that they're seeing are being led around by the nose, and they're being shown one wow-inducing phenomenon after another, all of which is way beyond their ken, way beyond their ability to control. But they think they'll control it one day, and that is precisely the hell into which they have been placed, and rightfully so. So they're busy chasing after their dreams in their reality. And unless you are particularly morally decrepit, they cannot affect you. You needn't worry that they're going to break up your reality if you're any kind of a mensch at all. People have been noticing population decreases. It's certainly been noticed in China. You know, where did all these people go? I've even heard reports about it in Israel, that population of certain towns seems to be less than it was. Some of that is due to the war. There are other events happening as well. Not everybody is living in the same reality. And those who are not on moral par with us have been removed from our reality into the one that better suits them. That is what's happening. There are a lot of weird phenomena that people are reporting. I don't see any of that, but I see a lot of it on the internet. People are seeing all kinds of things in the sky, and the magnetic shifts, and the sun acting peculiarly. And I take their reports as subjectively fairly reported. I don't think they're lying. I think that that's what they're experiencing. But not everybody is experiencing the same thing. This is an extinction event. It is unlike any other extinction event that we think happened or that we think We have some idea how it happened. We don't know. Those are all speculations. So because we don't have a precedent for this particular extinction event, we may not recognize it as such. Or we may attribute it to forces that are more fruits of our own imagination than actual forces. If you are of the opinion that there are evil people who are working on a depopulation program, then your reality is going to be in sync with that conviction. I see people putting themselves into compartments of reality using many, many modalities. Some think that it's the sun doing it to them. All kinds of natural events, unnatural events, wars, illnesses. That event that happened to people in Spain. If you're noticing, a lot is happening in the Christian world. There are a lot of events both in the Catholic world and in the Protestant world. And that is the result of the Christians having wished Armageddon on others and having put themselves up as judges about who deserves heaven and who deserves hell. In being so convinced, they created that reality for themselves. And this is the reason why we see so many natural and unnatural events happening in the Christian world. Muslims are bringing an awful lot of misery on themselves too. The Jews being convinced as they are that nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I'm going to eat some worms, are creating a world of hatred and rejection for themselves. Years ago I made a video in which I warned people that the world that the Talmud had generated was going to be erased. And I don't think many people took me at all seriously if they understood that what I was talking about at all. If you are an embodiment of peace, if you're working toward being an embodiment of peace, that will be your world, and you'll have nothing to worry about. And as David HaMelech teaches, suddenly you'll look around and you'll see that the evildoers are nowhere to be found. They're just not in your reality at all. They exist, but they're not in your reality. And those who are of a less moral mindset will find themselves in the version of reality that suits them. I really tried to warn the world that this was going to happen. When I heard about some of the experiments they were doing in CERN, I was very concerned. I knew that they were exhibiting a kind of hubris and temerity that simply would not be tolerated by existence. And I tried to issue a warning warnings, and of course was summarily ignored. And these are the results, that they're finding themselves quite literally spaced out and being tempted by the findings of their own imaginations, that they think eventually they'll string it all together and be able to make some kind of a modality that will allow them to control the world. That thought is generating their warp. Nothing is irreversible. Nothing is eternal except peace. So if someone is of a genuine mind to return to a genuine path of peace, they will begin to move into another reality. It's still very fluid. The boundaries are still eminently permeable, and we can pass from one reality into another. But make no mistake about what's really happening in the world. This is a major extinction event that is taking place in the form of compartmentalization into different realities, because those who created that wanted to weaponize it, and the effect of it is that they've been sequestered, they've been quarantined. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've understood what I said.